One Saturday morning.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for checking us out on another show here. This, of course, is the Color Commentary crew, where we give you views from a different side. Of course, this is Rashad, owner and founder of Block Band Music and Publishing, a company that gives you access to instruments for marching bands across the nation, and my compatriot, Chuck Taylor, owner and founder of KVH Party EZ, along with his wife here, where they give you parties of all kinds. We do not have a special intro for this because that would be sacrilegious for this movie or this TV show. This Netflix TV show called When They See Us. It is a story about I believe, the Harlem Five. Is that what it is? Or Central Park Five. It's the Central Park Five. The story of four African American youths and one Hispanic youth who were falsely arrested and accused of raping a woman. Yeah, they were accused of raping a white woman, and they were in jail for between 6 and 14 years. It's an amazing movie. So let's go ahead and talk about it. We'll do a really brief non-spoiler review, and then we'll give our spoiler review on this movie. So TV show. Go ahead, Chuck.
I guess just for non-spoiler purposes, I definitely think everybody should watch this series, the mini series. It's definitely important, especially for the African American and the minorities, just to kind of know where you came from, and things that could possibly happen still to this day. It wasn't just that long ago that this happened. Was it 1992 when this happened?
1989.
It's 89. So I was three when this happened. So I mean, it's not that far on. It's not like it was in the 60s or 30s or something like that. This is in my lifespan right here. So yeah, definitely, it's very powerful. The actors do a wonderful job to convey their situation on both sides. Even the white actors, they definitely make sure that you believe that they hate black people on this movie. It's very emotional. It's hard to watch, but I just say, hey, take your time with it. Get your emotions in check, because it's a lot of important information that I think everyone needs to know, especially about the prison system altogether, how everything works with inmates when they're released, our society from high end to the low end, everything. Just how we make up America. It shines a very big light on a lot of the issues that we have in our country. Little notice pop up, but I want everybody to make sure they watch it because it's very compelling, and it's important. But yeah, I think that's all I can give for non-spoilers. just go watch it.
I will say I saw a lot of posts. So this TV show came out the week before, and so I saw a lot of people who had already expressed some feelings on it. One of the things they said about it was that this movie is I keep calling it a movie. This show is a horror movie for black people. They're 100% right. It is 100% right, particularly the first couple of episodes. That is exactly how it feels like. It feels like a horror movie, except the difference is that when you're watching a horror movie, no matter how much you become invested in that movie, at the end of it, you're able to release those emotions, because normally there's going to be some type of vindication. And also, you realize it's not real. So you move on with your life. But when you watch this, you just are left in a state. Watching the first 2 episodes, I remember, particularly at the end of the second episode, I just sat there, like, I didn't do anything for probably like a half hour, because I was so I don't know what I was feeling, man. I just like, that is horrible. That is horrible, and that could have been me, and that could have been your kids. There's so many. I mean, it's terrible, man. And first of all, I will say that I felt it's very well made. I'll talk about that a little bit more as we get into the non-spoiler review. But I think it is something that everyone should watch, not just black people,
No,
I think all people should watch it, because if you're not a black person and you're not paying attention to this type of stuff, you leave yourself oblivious to the things that are happening. I was watching a gentleman that just commented on Warren's page a little while ago, and I could tell by the comments that he was leaving on Warren's page that he's oblivious to some of the things that are happening that people that look like him are doing to people that look like us. So you need to watch things like this so you can know, oh yeah, these things happen. And you need to pay attention, you need to be aware of it and help us to put an end to it. So let's go ahead and get into our spoiler review here now. So you've had the opportunity to listen to us. So please stop and watch the TV show on your own if you haven't done that. All right. Spoiler. All right. Chuck Taylor, what are your feelings about the spoiler review on When They See Us? Real quick, before you delve into the topic, what do you think about the production of the show? Because normally, most of the time, we don't talk about the topic. We talk about the production. So what did you think about that?
I mean, I thought this was very well made. I think after I actually finished it, I told you it was like probably one of the best mini series or best TV show series that I've ever watched, like a documentary of a true event. It was very compelling. All the actors they were so in tune to how these characters probably felt at the time of this situation, from the children to the parents to the siblings to the community, to the antagonists, to the cops that were putting people, falsely accusing them. But all in all, I thought that it was so compelling. It was like, wow, is this it? It draws you in so well that you think it's just a movie, but then you realize this really happened. So that just takes it to another level. Like, wow, this really happened. This wasn't just like somebody just writing a story or writing a book and then they bring it to life. And the situations that could have happened, this actually really happened. So I thought that they did a very good job with that. Probably one of the best I've seen.
All right. So you can go ahead and get into the topic, sir.
Yeah. The first episode, man, it had me going all types of emotions. I was already, like you said, you heard posts about it being a horror movie for Black people. And even Latino people, because we had a Latino brother in there that had the same situation happen to him. So it definitely was. It was gripping. I remember when we first started watching, we were watching with a group of people just at the house during, I think it was like noon, and one of our brother-in-law came put it on, and we were just watching it, and I don't know, I had so many different feelings that were happening to me at that first episode. After that first episode, I don't think I even finished it. I think I watched like the first half of it, and I just had to step away. I want to go check on my kids, make sure everything was okay, because this is scary. This is very scary. Like, just think of somebody just snatching your kids up and taking their whole life away from them, and you can't even fight. Seeing the decisions that a lot of them were making just made you angry. I know you can't sit there and necessarily judge because you weren't in that position, but seeing some of the decisions that some of the parents made, maybe not really checking in with their kid as much, or even when they did know what was going on, just being so scared that they're just like, hey, just tell them whatever. I mean, one of the fathers said that, and it's just kind of broke me down. Like, wow, he's just about to lie on these kids and lie for it, and really steal his case for his own son. And it was really hard to watch that first episode. It took me about 2 days. What you say?
Real quick, with that dad, it's like you don't feel one way about him, because on one side you're like, how could you do that to your son? But on the other side, to some extent, you understand. Like, he's so terrified of the cops that he feels like they're going to destroy him and either possibly kill both of them. It's just, that part is really, I thought it was really good. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I guess it took me a few days just to go back to. I knew we were reviewing. I was like, okay, I gotta finish this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish it. But when they get to the trial, and you see all the evidence, that all the non-evidence that they have, and you feel like you start, they do a good job with the show to kind of make you feel like, oh, they're gonna win, even though you know that they go to jail. Like, you know that, you can Google that real quick and see that. But it's like, it makes you feel like, wow, they don't really have anything on these kids, but how are they going to get these kids, they're still going to convict them. And, going through that whole process was like a whole roller coaster. And when they get to jail, I feel so bad for Corey. Corey had me crying on episodes, had me like, it's so upset in episodes. I felt so sorry for him because of what he had to go through by himself in the adult prison, because he was 16 and he wasn't even on the list. He just happened to go help his friend. And I don't really know, hey, how great of a friend. I mean, Yusuf is, I guess he's a good friend, but I don't. It's like, hey, man, sometimes just let your friends do what they need to deal with. Like, golly, man, that was tough. And just kind of seeing his background with his family. His mom, was dealing drugs. She's a single mom. She's poor, so that's why a lot of things happen to them, because they are so focused on the dollar bill, just living and surviving. Right. They can't even take and be focused on loving and treating their children right and teaching them the right things and protecting them. So, and that's one thing that just helps us to kind of realize, like, hey, maybe we stop worrying about money all the time and bills all the time and everything's like, look at your kids and talk to your kids, love your children, because in a blink of an eye, any situation can happen and they can be taken away. And you're worried about how your job, or if this bill is going to come out on time, or do you have money for this, and your kids are growing up right there in front of you. So you definitely need to make sure you pay attention and be a parent, man. Love your kids and focus on them and teach and protect them, because they don't know. And I felt a lot of parents just didn't do a good job protecting their children in this movie. I mean, just coming around rounding children up, and taking them down to jail. I was like, what in the heck? How they just go round up little 14-year-old kids? On the next day, I was just baffled by me. I was baffled by it.
They were probably all at work.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's that same type of thing when you talk about scratching and surviving. That type of thing can happen if everybody's at work.
Yeah. I guess you're right. So, all in all, I really say to really watch the whole video, watch all the way through, because you learn so much about the justice system when it comes to when inmates get out on parole and things. It was a lot of things I just didn't understand. I'm like, wow, you can't talk to another convicted felon. Basically, you have to return to this particular place all your life. And I understand that for some of these people that are convicted and are, did do these crimes, they make it really tough. And I'm not saying that they should be given a break, but it's just like understanding that a little bit better made me understand, like, okay, I can see why people go back in prison, because they make it so hard to really change your life once you get out that you're going to end up turning around, and going back to what you did or trying to make money a dishonest way to survive, because, but you're kind of blackballed through society, and you can't do anything else about it. So it's kind of makes you feel like you have no win situation, and it's pretty sad. With this country, we have a horrible, to me, a system of judicial system and justice system. So I think we definitely need to change how we rehabilitate people. I know in a lot of countries they have a lot of different ways that they rehabilitate people. I think with us, we just throw them in a cage with other people that are mentally ill and are crazy, and then just expect them just to come back to society and be okay and be able to make a living. You need to stay away from all these other people and make a living. Like, no, well, it's like you don't really have any process for them to even get back into the workforce. Now, they got to lie just to get a job, and if they get somebody tells on them, they get kicked out of the job. They're homeless again, and what do you think they're going to do? So it was an eye-open show, and I definitely want others to take a look at it. Hopefully get a different aspect of life as a minority in this country, and we need to be together. If we were together on a lot of things with these issues, what happened? I did like, real quick before I let you go, I did like to see how the black community were still supporting them. I know when some of them got out, they had some of the what's the word? What's the group?
Like the barber?
Huh?
Or the outreach people?
CIAA?
With that?
I think it was the CIAA, right?
No, what?
Yeah,
No.
edit that out.
NAACP?
Yeah,
I remember
NAACP. Basketball over here. The NAACP, you know, how they kind of talked to some of them about helping them with, you know, getting back in the workforce. I don't know if they were going to help them with jobs, but it was cool to see them on the film, kind of looking at them, helping them when they got out. So, yeah. What about you?
real quick, we got some people that are leaving some comments here, so I'm going to read what Irvin Harris said here. He's watching. He said that jobs were in jeopardy if you protested. The mentality of whites were to beat us and hang us. I was a victim at that time for just walking in the part of town where I didn't belong. Outcome, police ride home. And I can't see the rest of his message there. But yeah, it's sad. It's real. And again, this is something that not just Black people should pay attention to, or Hispanic people, but white people. I know exactly what you're talking about there, Irving. You know, I've had a situation myself where I was just out dream building, just looking at nice houses, you know, and I was dressed in a suit, you know, driving a pretty decent car, you know, and I was just stopping. And, you know, I was pulled over not by a cop, but some random dude in a BMW that decided he was going to get my license tag. For what? You know, in my company, Block Band Music and Publishing, you know, I had a meeting one time where I had my whole staff, we were talking, and other than myself, every single man on the staff had been pulled over by a cop and had his vehicle searched for, you know, looking for weapons and drugs. Every single staff member, every single one. It's terrible. Kenny Millett here says, it was definitely a different time, and unfortunately it took situations like this to make our laws change and in some ways become progressive. So I'm glad that you guys are checking out the show and watching us. Kenny also said that he was on a panel for this, and they talked about it on Teen Summit, which of course is something else. These type of things happen, and then over time they kind of disappear, and you see that in the movie. It's like, yeah, people were riled up initially, but over time, you know, it just kind of fades away, just like all these shootings that we see here now. But let's go ahead and get more specifically into the movie. First of all, I'm going to talk about the quality of production. The first 2 episodes to me were amazing and seamless. I mean, just jumping back and forth between the four boys. I thought their acting was amazing. I thought all of the supporting characters were amazing. You really feel everything that's going. I think the director did a great job of capturing the emotions and imprinting them upon you. It's a really, really well done TV show or movie, I guess. A long movie is really what it is. From a production standpoint, I felt like the third episode wasn't quite as good as the others. I feel like she did a good job of telling you the story, but at some point it just kind of became like a bird's eye view, just kind of looking into what's happening with them, as opposed to kind of putting it together in a way that has a certain emotional impact. And I felt that parts of that in the 4th movie were that way as well. However, in the 4th episode, kind of back towards the middle, it really started to kind of come together again. You were following the character of Corey and just seeing everything that was constantly happening to him, just getting beat down, literally beat down all the time. Gosh, it was just terrible. One of the worst parts, talking about the story a little bit, is when he gets to the prison and the black security guard let something happen to him. That's jacked up, bro. Thanks a lot, bro. Thanks. Yeah. Fight the power. Wow. Yeah. But overall, I thought it was, other than kind of dragging just a bit towards the 3rd episode, I think it's amazing. I definitely think it's worth your time to watch. I think it's something that everybody will enjoy. From the story standpoint, it's a horror movie for Black people, man. It is absolutely, it's terrible, man. You know, to see these boys and everything that they went through, you know, the fact that they were just there. They were just there, you know, and that was it. That was their only crime. And they had their entire youth ripped from them. You know, talking about being 14 years old and getting out of jail, you know, when you are 14 years old, you know, 20 years old, 14 years old. The oldest one was 16 and getting out of jail when you're 30 years old. So the time that you become a man, everything that you experience with the opposite sex or the same sex, however you want to do it, or relationships, college, jobs, learning about money, to becoming a man in general, all of that was taken from them for the crime of them just being in the area. And here's the thing. In 1989, I was 12 years old. So I was just a couple of years younger than the youngest ones in this, which means that if I was living in New York at that time, it easily could have been me. Easily. If I had just happened to be in Central Park and I could have just been swept up, and there were parts in the movie where I'm like, well, why would you give in, and why would you tell them that, you committed this rape when you know that you didn't? But I also think, what would 14-year-old me have done if I were locked in jail for days? Not just a day, not just hours, but for days, without the ability to see my parents and without being fed. Yeah, you probably could get me to say anything. You really could. Probably. And so. Corey had it the worst because they just brought him in there. He wasn't even on the list, and they just started beating him. Yep. That's terrible. They didn't care. You saw they put the grandmother out. They put Antoine's mother out. They put her out. In order to come up with these confessions. But here's the thing: I knew that they were going to be convicted, not just because we knew it happens, but also I think that the defense attorneys did not do a good job of understanding that they were fighting an uphill battle. Like, I think that the whole thing about what is it? The legal precedent is innocent until proven guilty and reasonable doubt. And what they wanted to do was prove reasonable doubt. But in this situation, reasonable doubt wasn't going to have to be enough. No. The idea that it might not be them, that wasn't going to be enough. Not when a prosecution has done such a job of showing how horribly this woman has been, assaulted. Somebody had to pay the crime, But my thing would have been, okay, somebody, why these five? Yeah. If there were 30, 40 boys in the area, what was it about these particular five? The fact that they all implicated each other? Okay. They said they did it, but now they're saying that they didn't do it. So they have a sworn testimony. Okay, but they're up here right now under oath, swearing again. So which one? We got to have more than that, but it was just so sad, man. Again, I recommend it. Anybody watch this movie, check it out, enjoy it, take some time, realize that you're probably going to be upset. And I do, like you said, Chuck, I appreciate the fact that they kind of skipped ahead a little bit and spent some time with them outside of jail. Yeah. And you really do see how hard that it is. And, none of every one of those boys, they were working at the movie theater, working, the rest home, cleaning up stuff, and for the rest of their life, if that hadn't been changed, they would be a rapist. Yeah. That's one of the worst things that you could ever have to try to explain on a job application. When I was young, I kind of got into it and I stole cars a little bit. I broke into some homes. Some things like that. But other than murder, I killed somebody intentionally. That's other than that, that's the worst thing that you could say. Yeah, when I was young, I was young and dumb and I raped somebody. Or they convicted me of raping somebody, but I didn't do it. Really? Oh, you didn't do it? And to see how everybody looks at them, to see how John Leguizamo's wife, Elena, who is fine. let me just take that out real quick. Get some props to the woman. She was thick, boy. Good God. Mamacita. But anyway, how she talked to the boy, I just assumed he was a rapist, and that's how it is. People assume that you do the crime. So, again, go see this. Everybody says Chuck, any other?
So everybody says that they're innocent in prison. So, kind of roll your eyes at it. Sure you are.
There you go. One last thing. I'm surprised you didn't say it, but Corey, yes, his acting is amazing. He's the kid that plays Corey is the only one that plays all ages of him. He plays him all the way from 16 all the way to 30 years old. Makes you wonder, how old is this kid really?
He does.
So that's amazing.
I didn't know that. I don't think he does.
Yeah, everybody else is a different person. For him, he plays the whole role.
I'll have to look at that again. But
I think
if you say
so.
I think it's got somebody to look like him. I think that was a different person.
I'm pretty sure it's the same guy all the way through. I'm pretty sure it is.
Comment section, get them.
Come on, comments. All right, Chuck. Anything else to say about this?
Oh no. It was definitely check it out if you haven't. And just some history that we all need to know.
That's right. Let me see here. I'm trying. I was hoping you were going to talk a little bit more so I can have the time.
Have the time to look up that.
Right, exactly. You just left me hanging here.
Sorry about that.
That's the second time you did that. Let's see here. Corey Wise. 4 episodes. Jarrell. Okay. Yeah, 4 episodes. That's all of them. Let me see here. But let me see if I see a young Corey Wise. No, it's young Kevin Richardson, young Anton. Anton. It's Antoine. They get that wrong. Young Yusuf, and then Corey Wise. So yeah, he plays all 4 episodes.
Wow, that's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. I couldn't tell. I figured he was somebody different by the end of it.
Yeah,
like the others.
Yeah. So anyway, if you like what we did, make sure to leave us a like. Please leave a comment and tell us what you thought about this whole situation. The video itself. What are we going to do to stop this type of thing from happening in the future? As usual, you have to subscribe to survive. This is Color Commentary, where we give you views from a different side. Peace.